Pepsi Light, lemony, Pepsi Light. We put a little lemony taste in and took out half the calories.
Welcome back to another light episode of the Pop Culture Preservation Society, or as we shall be referred to today, America's Pop Culture Sweethearts.
Oh.
And that's because today we're chatting about an article sent to us by our friend and author and McSweeney's darling and humor writer and all-around lovely person, Wendy Aarons. Longtime listeners might remember her from when she sat in with us in early 2021 for our Flowers in the Attic episode, where we did some thespian-level readers theater, didn't we?
Mm-hmm, that was good.
And had probably, in my opinion, one of the best titles of an episode of all of our 250 plus episodes.
Yeah.
Deflowered in the Attic. I just thought that was so good. It wasn't mine. I didn't come up with it. One of these two other clever ladies did, but I love that one.
Yeah, if you loved that book, go way back in the Wayback Machine and find that in all of our catalog of episodes. So Wendy sent us an article written by her friend, Sarah Thurmond, that was in the October issue of Texas Highways. And here is what Wendy's email said to us. My friend Sarah just did this interview with Jane Seymour, and I don't know about you, but this movie was huge to me and my sister in 1979. We even asked for and got Dallas Cowboy jerseys for Christmas in North Dakota. Wendy, you know us so well because of course we want to, of course we loved this article and we wanted to have a conversation about it. So the movie Wendy was referring to, of course, is the Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders, which starred a then 28-year-old Jane Seymour. It aired on January 14th, 1979, which was just about a week before what is considered to be one of the greatest Super Bowl games of all time, Super Bowl 14, where the Cowboys lost to the Steelers. Y'all, in the mid to late 1970s, I was obsessed with the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders, like even more than I am today, this day. And I had to think about that. Like, did it have something to do with the fact that I was born in Dallas and I lived there for, 9 years?
No.
So it was my birthright, basically? Yes. Did it have something to do with the fact that my mother was a lifelong diehard Cowboys fan, and she and my dad went to every home game, like when they were dating and then right after they got married. And then after she and my dad got divorced, was known to attend after parties with the players.
What?
Probably. Oh yeah, she just tell us stories all the time. Mm-hmm. And I now own a giant Crayola crayon art piece of a cheerleader I did in about first grade. And underneath it, in my little writing, I wrote, when I grow up, I want to be a cho leader. It's C-H-O. And I have it. I'll post a pic to prove it.
A cho leader.
Yeah. And then even weirdly, I had a non-blood relative that was a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader in the mid-70s. She was like my pervert uncle's first daughter from another marriage or someone.
Oh my God.
So I don't want to dig deeper because I do not like to acknowledge his previous presence and existence. But me and my sister had signed posters of the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader squad on our walls for a hot second. Anyway, I was a big fan. I was a really big fan. And by the late 70s, so was the rest of America. And that's mostly because of the success of the Cowboys. In her article, Sarah tells us that by the end of the decade, NFL Films deemed the Cowboys America's team during their championship season in 1978. And so suddenly everyone's eyes were on the DCC. That's the Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders. So much so that an entire movie was made centering around them. Now, I'm going to read from Sarah's article right now because this is a light episode. And so remember, no research was done.
Right. Mm-hmm.
She says, the plot, which is available on Prime, centers around a magazine editor played by Burt Convey.
Mr. 70s.
70s.
Pressured to increase circulation, who comes up with a scheme to expose the most gorgeous girls in America and their phony PR. To prove the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders are not goody-goodies, he assigns an investigative journalist, Jane Seymour, to infiltrate the squad. I love everything about this.
I know.
As
So
Seymour's
great.
character makes the cut and worms her way into friendships with the cheerleaders, though, she discovers there is more to the girls behind the pom-poms. I love it so much. And I definitely remember this movie. But listen to this. Sarah tells us that the movie came in third the week it aired, behind Mork and Mindy and Laverne and Shirley. This is just so 1978. And with a 33 Nielsen rating, the equivalent of 24.6 million homes watched it. According to its star, Jane Seymour, it was the highest rated movie in television history.
Okay.
I don't think so, Jane Seymour. I like how
love
she
how
said
she
according
said-
to the star. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
That made me stop in my tracks. But
That being said, what percentage of the people on this call right now watched it?
I watched it.
I probably didn't, and I can't wait to
100%.
play devil's advocate
Oh,
to
okay.
everything
All right.
you guys are
Okay,
saying.
because also, let's not forget. So anyway, let's just say it was very popular.
Yeah.
And then that was in January of 79. And then in November of 79, they were still steaming ahead, because who could ever forget the 2-part episode of The Love Boat?
Of The Love Boat.
Where they were
Yes.
on.
I don't think I reached the level of Michelle. I was not obsessed. I didn't know from football. But I did have a fascination, as I think everybody around the country did, with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, mostly with how to say it. Like, is it Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders? I didn't know where the plural was. It was really Dallas Cowboys Cowboy cheerleaders. I didn't know. I was both like enamored and repulsed by them at the same time. I was angry about the little shorts, but I couldn't stop staring at the little shorts. I knew that there was something sexist about it, but I also loved it. I was there. I was confused, and I loved every minute of it. I absolutely loved it.
It's a moth to a flame.
It was
it's a
total
moth to a flame.
And if you had asked me if I wanted to be them, I would absolutely say no, but I would also be nodding my head at the same time.
You're going, no.
Yeah, I do not. I do not want to be that.
Disgusting.
Yes, I do not. Don't. Yeah. I think the plot is just so luscious, because this is essentially Burt Convey's the 70s attempt to slut shame the DCC, because pretty girls have to be sluts, so they can't be goody goodies, which of course failed, because Jane Seymour found out that they really were goody goodies, and they had brains and they had families. I mean, imagine that. They're 3-dimensional people. I can't believe it. But it also, this is what fascinates me, because I am still hooked on the DCC, because I've watched both Netflix documentary series, and I'm all in. And they still have the same PR campaign about protecting the image of, is it Madonna horror? I think it's a little Madonna horror. Like the outfits are a little bit horror, but they want Madonna image. And so the movie was basically like propaganda for them to say, no, we are really sweet and kind. And in, maybe it's not this current series, but the previous one, there was one candidate for the DCC that was dismissed, who was disqualified, because there were photos of her on Facebook at a party holding a red Solo cup.
Yeah.
And that did not line up with the image of the DCC, because we are good girls with
They're
tiny,
very
tiny
churchy.
shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They in the Netflix documentaries, they like to showcase that a little bit, that they're all very churchy. Yeah.
There's a little Jesus involved here and there. I mean,
well,
it
it's
is
also
Texas.
Texas.
It's Texas, yeah. So in the article itself is an actual interview with Jane Seymour today.
Yes.
Today.
Yeah. Like this past fall. Yeah.
Yes. And letting her reflect.
74-year-old Jane Seymour.
74-year-old Jane Seymour reflecting back on this role that she barely even remembers that she did in 1978. And it is a fascinating reveal, because it is not full of golden memories. It is mostly Jane Seymour feeling regretful about what a snob she was.
Yeah. Also, I was shocked that, and maybe because I did grow up so ensconced in the Dallas Cowboys. You guys, I just have to interject this, because it is the season right now. When this episode airs will probably be after Christmas. But one of the best family stories we have, and I remember this perfectly. I was in kindergarten. We had a motorhome. I remember singing this at the top of my lungs. I can picture I can like feel the inside of the motorhome with the shag carpet. And I never knew why my mom and stepfather John laughed so hard. I made up a song, and it was to the tune of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And the beginning of it went like this: Roger Staubach. That was the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Very, very famous and good. And I loved him. I had jerseys. I had everything.
Oh, yeah.
Roger Staubach had two very shiny balls. And my mom, and I don't remember the rest of it, but I just remember that part because it was catchy, right? And I thought the whole time my mom and my stepfather John would laugh so hard. And I thought because they just thought I was darling. Yeah. They thought my song was darling. But, oh yeah, that was my song. We were so ensconced by it that, and to me, the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders, it wasn't, this movie came out in January of 1979. I was infatuated way before that. But this interview with Jane Seymour, she's like, barely can remember the movie. It sounds like.
Like she's tried to forget it. She's tried to forget it. Yeah. When it's all burned in our memories. Okay, fun fact, quick, before we move on. Roger Staubach was once my boss.
The actual one?
The actual one. Yes, my checks were signed by Roger Staubach. What? Because he was the owner of the American Dance Team Association. And these were like, if you went to cheer camp or if you went to dance camp, this was the dance equivalent of cheer camp. And I was a camp counselor. And he signed my checks. And I went to the office and I think I met him. But again, because I'm not football-y, I didn't know.
He kind of had that permy comby hair, but it was more like a chestnutty color.
And it was
wasn't
reddy,
it? Like,
kind of reddish. Oh yeah, I met him then. Yeah,
that's such a fun fact.
Here's my fun fact that might top it, but we can't put it in there. Is that when I swear I told you guys this, but when I was a freshman in college, I went on a date party to a fraternity rush party, and so my date took me to an apartment because there was a friend that was getting rushed, lived in an apartment. I'm like, I didn't even know you could live in apartments at our college when you were a freshman. And he was married, this guy we were going to, but he was a freshman in college. He was married to Roger Staubach's daughter, who he got pregnant. And she was pregnant. And so she was only, I don't even know if she had graduated. She was a year younger than we were. She had gone to Ursuline Academy. They were Catholic. And John was his name. And they're still married, John, and I can't remember his last name now.
They're still married from 18 years old back in 1970s?
Yes, back in 1983.
Or 80.
Wow.
Yes. Why can't we put this in? This is great.
Well, I feel bad. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's kind of known.
You're not the one that got pregnant.
Okay. Well, anyway, yes. So
You're just reporting the facts.
You didn't say any judgment.
I went to a pre-party at Jennifer Staubach, and at that point, she had a different last name. I can't remember what, at their house. And then we went to a party. And of course, she didn't drink because she was pregnant.
And she's like a teenager.
And I couldn't wait to get home and call my parents. And I'm like, oh my gosh, guess who I was at a party with? It was just crazy. But yeah, that's my story. But
well, my mom actually would have stories of she would always say, well, your father and we would go back to mother and daddy's after the Cowboy game because they went to every Cowboy game and whatever. And probably after they had my sister, they didn't go to as many. But she had legendary stories of going to after parties, and so much so that it would become like a joke for me and my sister. Like, are you sure one of our fathers isn't a former Dallas Cowboy?
Roger Staubach's my dad.
Well, here is a great segue because I was not a fan of the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders at all. Mm-hmm. So much so that when you guys talk about DCC, I'm like, what? I don't even know. I forgot even when it was listed for this was what the episode was about. I didn't know what it stood for. I had to remind myself. I'm going to do a little wardrobe change here just to show you why I was not a fan. God. So everybody bear with me for a second.
Okay, something's coming.
Wait, but this isn't going to be on YouTube. How is it not going to be on YouTube? Oh,
because.
She's an Oilers fan.
Of course you are.
I was a Houston Oiler fan.
Because of Texaco.
Yeah.
No, that has nothing to do with them.
Okay. Well, she lived in Houston.
I mean, I don't know. Okay. Houston Oilers was the football team, right? And because Houston was an oil town, but that's not why. I mean, we hated Dallas. If you lived in Houston, you hated Dallas Cowboys and every single thing about them.
I didn't know
so
this is
those
interesting.
cheerleaders gag. I mean, no way. And we would go around being like, I didn't vote to call them America's sweethearts. Who deemed them America's sweethearts?
That was
Nobody
actually
in
like a
Houston
topic
did.
of conversation? Like you kids talked about that?
Well, I mean, it was just understood. It was just like
so funny.
That's so cheesy. Yeah, their football team isn't really any good, so that's why they have to have these cheerleaders that flaunt themselves around. And so I was never, ever a fan. Far from what Michelle was, but at the same time, it was this Texas mentality with football that you lived, breathed. I mean, look, I'm wearing this ski cap. Listeners, I have a ski cap on my head with big pom-pom on it. Yeah. And I want you to know, and it says Houston Oilers. This was in the same chest of keepsakes that my dad's cufflinks were and soap on a rope. This was his
soap on a rope.
This was his hat. And and we never really had much snow or any reason to even wear a ski hat in Texas. So it probably wasn't worn that much. But when I saw it in the chest of his stuff, I kept it and now I'm wearing it. But it gave me a whole different perspective to this article and the documentary. Who has wasted their time watching a documentary of a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader? Oh,
that hat is a relic, though, because they're the Texans now.
Yeah, they're not the Oilers anymore, which was a whole nother big scandal when they left. But, you know, the Oilers played in the Astrodome, which to me is a huge pop culture reference of the 70s, regardless of where you lived, because it was the first covered dome stadium in the country. And whenever anyone visited us from out of town, our go-to experience was the back lot tour of the Astrodome. I can't tell you how many times I walked around there when there was like nobody there except for the tour going through. But my dad was so proud of it. And I honestly thought it was the 9th wonder of the world or the 8th, whatever.
That is so Texas.
Yes.
That is so Texas.
I mean, that's how they like promoted it. And I thought, okay, right up there with the Great Wall of China. And of course, this first covered
the Houston
dome.
Astrodome.
So anyway, it gives you all, and there's probably a small percentage of people that didn't like the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
Everyone from Houston.
And I'm thinking a lot of you are from Houston, and I see you, and I'm repping you, and I'm wearing my Love You Blue Oilers hat.
Yeah. It's very cute. It's very retro.
To be clear, like as an adult, a woman in my 50s watching the Netflix documentary series, both of them, I am hate watching it.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm
yes.
100% hate watching it. Nobody, I mean, Judy, who are their names?
It's Judy and Kelly Finglass.
Kelly.
So Judy and Kelly. Yeah.
Judy and Kelly. Yeah. They're the coaches and they are Svengalis to these girls and they
I
are
follow
controlling.
them on Instagram.
And they are, they control every inch of these girls and there's so much emotional manipulation. And so I am hate watching it. I don't want to be them and I don't want anyone to be them. But then when they get to go on the field for the first time, you are like, yes, you did it.
Anytime I see a story or a post, I physically feel like I'm kind of going to vomit at like the things they're saying and doing, but I can't stop.
Which is kind of how it was presented to us in the 70s. We couldn't stop watching. Whether you liked it or didn't, you couldn't. And the whole theme, we mentioned this previously, of this article with Jane Seymour is Jane Seymour saying, I am an idiot for saying no to all of the things that, because she was looking down her nose at them. She said no to a sequel. She said no to joining the squad on the field for a real game because she said she just snubbed them. So I think, Carolyn, you were probably feeling Jane Seymour in those moments, right?
When I was reading the article?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for sure.
But so funny that today, 74, 78, whatever year old Jane Seymour says that's a really big regret she has. She wishes she would have. She wishes she would have. Yeah.
Because she now understands the phenomenon. Remember, she's from England, so she didn't really understand America's team. She didn't understand America's sweethearts. She didn't understand the phenomenon that it was. She just looked at it on its surface, which is cheeseball. Like cheeseball to the 10th power. And so that's why she was looking down her nose. I think it's interesting that because of Carolyn's view of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, which is probably not uncommon, it shows how it was very necessary to have this goody-goody PR campaign, because what is the first thing you grab onto when you hate a group of women in tiny shorts dancing? It would be slut shaming, right? That would be the first. How do you hate those people? How do you take them down? You go straight to slut. So it's very important for the organization to emphasize not sluts. Yeah. And they even, there are a lot of rules about how they cannot fraternize with the players. No. Absolutely, 100%. You cannot fraternize with the players. And so it's sort of like survival, this PR campaign, whether you call it propaganda or whatever, in order for them to survive and to protect the girls, you probably have to promote this image. America's sweethearts, goody. I mean, that's just kind of the reality.
Carolyn's face right now is just disgust. Also, I think, and Carolyn, I would argue that your disgust of the DCC, Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders in the 70s and probably 80s and beyond is more rooted. I'm not saying it's not because of what Kristen was just saying. I'm going to just say it's more rooted, and they were your nemesis. They were your arch rival. They were how I felt as an Arizona State Sun Devil about the University of Arizona. That's how it is the biggest rival. And like Carolyn said, when you are in Texas, she talks about the Astrodome, being the covered. Well, my mom used to say all the time, so much so that my sister and I are mouthing it in the back because everybody says it. Why does Cowboy Stadium have a hole in the top so God can watch his favorite team play? So it's such a huge rivalry that I would argue that as a child, your dislike of them was probably rooted more in that than it was about, the tiny shorts and the big curly hair. Because even though the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders were one of the first really big NFL cheerleading teams to have all that, there were other ones. It wasn't like they were the only ones.
We had the Derek dolls. The Derek dolls, the Derek's on an oil field. Those were our cheerleaders.
I imagine it with hats on with oil things coming out, the top, squirting.
Squirt.
Like those feathers, like those little black feather things.
Yes,
a fascinator on top of their head.
Much more to your point, Michelle, probably then. I don't want anyone to think I'm slut shaming or anything like that.
And I don't want to sound like I was accusing you of that either.
No, I know you didn't. But I'd also say now that those rules that they had for them, I remember them back then and whatever. But now it's archaic. It's almost insulting to those women to still you can't tell me who I can date and who I can't date. And it's like a sorority where there's this house mom and she's saying, this is the right behavior and this is the wrong behavior. Oh, cut me a break that they haven't ever been with some of those football players.
Well, but also this becomes a little apparent when you watch the show is you realize, no, I'm not going to make you watch it. Okay. Please don't. You'll hate it. You'll vomit. It becomes they don't say this outright, but you feel it that these women are, they're objectified in a way that could make them, I don't even want to say it, victims of people who are big, literally big people who could overpower them and think that they have automatic access to them. I'm a football player and you're the cheerleader for my squad and I want to have sex with you.
Oh, gosh.
And that could be, I know, I'm bringing some darkness into the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Of course. But I just get that sense. I get that sense that the coaches are we need to protect the girls.
Yes. Just for legal purposes, everyone, let's all just clarify that Kristen is not saying that has happened.
No, I don't have any information. This is just something I gleaned from listening hard to the episodes.
Well, and I can see that too. We're in a way this is a backwards way, not a backwards way, but we're protecting you from something that could potentially happen because of these big
people
guys.
Who are big and powerful and think that they can do no wrong and they can get away with it.
Yep. They all live in Texas. A lot of them do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
think not everybody. Well, I'm not even going to go there.
Sorry. In Texas, we love you too at the same time. I don't want our Texas listeners to
And there are
There's
all
a
sorts
lot
of people
there.
in all sorts of places.
Yes.
There are
Exactly.
a lot of parts of Texas I still love and make me still proud to be from Texas and, born there, bred for a little while there. But I don't, there's also a lot of parts of it not too proud of and don't
That are
like.
still in the
But
past
that's
a little bit.
the way it is with everywhere, right?
Well, I'd like to just say that in my mind, I want to remember Jane Seymour from Somewhere in Time and Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Yes, Dr. Quinn.
Not for her portrayal of whatever the character was in Dallas, whatever, even it was called the movie, because I don't think I watched that TV movie.
I think you wouldn't. You would never have watched
I have vague
it.
memories of it, but I
Well, you
don't
saw
know that I
ads.
sat
You saw
down.
ads, I'm sure, because they advertised it like crazy.
Oh yeah, and if you see her with the ponytails, the long, she still has her long trademark hair, but it's in the dog ears, the pony, whatever you guys call them, pigtails. But I just think it's so funny that my first reaction though when I read the interview, because again, back to the interview that takes up most of Sarah's article, is about how she's like, I don't remember it, but basically saying it was a good experience, blah blah blah. I feel like she also didn't she have to be like reminded of the plot in that didn't she
she
like
had
as
no
she's having
idea.
the interview she's
Yes.
like what and I'm reading it going what like how could you not and then what all it took was for you to say Somewhere in Time and Dr. Quinn and I was like oh yeah I guess I'll give
She's
that
done
one to
some
Jane.
other things.
Yeah, she has.
I can't believe we've not talked about this, and this didn't appear in the article either. But one of the main reasons I was showing up for that movie was because of Lauren Tweez. Because Julie McCoy, Lauren Tweez is the actress who played Julie McCoy,
Yes,
the
she
cruise
was.
director on the Love Boat. She was one of the candidates on the show, and she had a little Southern accent.
So bad. She's
It
so
was
bad.
so bad. Yeah, and
And she's
had a
so
heart
bad.
of
She's such a bad
gold.
dancer. But
Yes.
she was, and then you have to wonder if it was that connection that then led to them being on the Love Boat. I don't even know, but she's kind of unwatchable in the movie.
Yeah.
You guys you can find it on like YouTube. I watched it when we did our episode on the Love Boat because I knew we were going to be talking about the
that
Dallas
when we
Cowboys
talked about it?
Cheerleaders episode, which listeners, we have an episode for that.
Yeah.
Go back, find our Love Boat episode, and we definitely address the Love Boat episodes with the Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders. And yes, we talk about cute little, is it Tammy with the blonde ponytails? And
The blondie.
But I just have to wonder if that's where the wheels started turning about getting them on.
I always assumed when I was a kid that there was a connection there. Like, and then because Julie McCoy was on the movie, then she invited them on the Love Boat because it's all real. Everything is real.
And she became such good friends with them.
Yes, that's right.
That's right.
Okay,
Well,
so
that was fun.
FYI, this was we're gonna blow your socks off right now. I had my own Jane Seymour moment in that when I reluctantly auditioned for the North Stars hockey team dance team. I did.
On ice?
No. It was in the aisles. It was in the aisles. Yes. No, but the cheerleaders were on ice. Yeah, I can't remember. I can't do crossovers when I'm roller skating, but I'm going to dance on ice.
I would love to see that.
No, we danced so I auditioned.
Okay.
I did make the team. I needed the money, and they paid $50 a game. And when they called and said that I made it, I was so conflicted. I was like, fuck. What do we do now?
How do we not know
Exactly.
that?
I'm like, wait.
I know.
This is a piece of
crazy.
information we have needed before now.
And I said no. I mean, and she's like, why did you audition if you're going to say no? But I had Jane Seymour syndrome. And I sort of felt like I was a little embarrassed. I felt like I was too old. I was 23. The reason I needed money was because I had graduated from college and it was 1990 and it was a recession and nobody had a job. And so I needed the $50 a week. But I just couldn't do it. I'm like, Kristen, you can do it. I'm like, no, I can't. I can't do it. Because I sort of felt like, you know what? This is best left in high school. I shouldn't still be doing this after high school. And there were no Madonna whore outfits. You were bike shorts and a sweatshirt. So I really felt that was one of the reasons I was like, I can do this. I can audition for this. But then I had this really conflicting moment when they called me and said that I'd made the team. And I said, no.
What was the audition? What'd you have to do?
This is amazing.
You had to go. It was just like on the documentary where, a bunch of people go in and they teach you a routine, and then it was like boot camp.
Did they record it?
Yeah, no.
Please.
I don't know. They might
this
have
is such
had
good
so they could go
information.
back and, say, oh, remember her? I think it could be on
And I'm pretty
video.
sure there were some North Stars who were judges, but like I used to, I'm not sportsy, so I don't know. All I know is Dino Ciccarelli, and I know it wasn't Dino Ciccarelli, so if it had been him, I would remember, but it wasn't. So I don't remember.
Wow.
I know.
All right, everyone listening. So put that in your noggins for when we one day are very famous and you can turn around and try to blackmail Kristen for something.
That or we're a Jeopardy category on Jeopardy.
Yes.
And that
Which
might be
PCPS host
Right.
made the North Stars dance in the aisles team?
Yep.
Who is Kristen Nilsson?
Final answer?
I just couldn't picture myself going, I gotta go to work now. I gotta go dance in the aisles at the North Stars game. It was $50 a week.
I love it.
I couldn't
Well,
do it.
You're
you know
proud
what?
of the
Spoiler alert, you're about to get a whole bunch of North Stars merch for Christmas.
That's they're in Dallas now. Yeah.
I know,
don't even
that
know.
hurts me.
I don't
That
even
hurts
know.
me.
We're the
Carolyn
wild.
goes gag.
I don't like
Carolyn,
anything
how do you
about
really
Dallas.
feel about Dallas?
No, I'm not a fan. But you know who I am a fan of? I'm a fan of the Minnesota Vikings cheerleading.
I thought you were going to say
Yes.
Michelle, who was born in Dallas.
But guess what? The Vikings have 2 male cheerleaders this
I'm
year.
obsessed with them.
People love them.
Right,
People,
right.
And it's, I think this moment with the Minnesota Vikings cheerleaders, because of these 2 men, and the women are incredibly talented too.
Oh,
but
the team
because
is talented.
The
Let's
team
just
is
say-
very
Yes, yes.
talented, but these men have because of the controversy, the Minnesota Vikings cheerleaders have been put out front and become a news story and have gotten a lot of press. But until that happened, has there ever been, and maybe I'm wrong, and it's okay if I'm wrong, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders to this day remain the only team that had the sort of national profile.
Yeah.
Which, there's something to be said about that. There's a reason. I'm not sure. But we're proud of those guys. And even people who don't like football like me, I'll watch them.
Yeah, Blaze.
I'll watch them.
I forgot the other one's name. Blaze is the one I follow. I don't think I follow the other
Yeah,
one.
the other
I'm
guy needs a
looking.
name like Blaze, and then I remember
Well,
it.
right.
He's like
I
Mark
know.
or something.
And you know what? I'm just
Dan.
Kristen, you need to go do the Dancing Grannies or whatever. I think it's
I
the
do.
Timberwolves. Or
Yeah, I need to do
Yes.
Dancing
They
Grannies.
have a little cheerleading squad that comes out every once in a while, or dance team. Yeah.
I've just started taking classes again. I didn't go to class for like 10 years. And I just started going back to class, and it's incredibly humbling because what I found out is that there's very little you can do when you have vertigo. Like
Oh, shoot.
you can't go up and down, you can't spin, you can't
I'm
it's
sorry.
it's a moment where you're like, shit. Where really, until very recently, I could do all the same things I could do in 1985. And now I really can't. Now I look like the old lady who everyone's spinning and I'm just standing in place.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Carolyn is still sitting here in her Oilers hat.
Well,
the whole
Yep.
rest of the time
I
she's
look
been
like
in the
terrible.
Oilers hat. All right, so this was fun. So if you have a really strong opinion on the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, one way or the other, let us know. We're always up for reading your
If you're from
emails and
Houston, let
your
us know.
DMs. Yeah, and if like Carolyn, you'd like to support Carolyn with the hatred of Dallas and the huge
If you're a fan of the Derek
affinity
dolls,
towards the
let us
I love
know.
those Derek
Yes.
dolls. Love you blue. That's what.
Hashtag
what we
Derek.
say.
Make sure though you sign your DM hashtag Derek Dolls for the win. FTW. Okay, so why don't we raise our glasses for a toast, shall we?
Courtesy of the Cast of Three's company. 2 good times.
2 happy days.
To Little House on the Prairie. And the
Cheers,
Oilers.
cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Go Cowboys.
The information, opinions, and comments expressed on the Pop Culture Preservation Society podcast belong solely to Carolyn, the Crushologist, and Hello Newman, and are in no way representative of our employers or affiliates. And though we truly believe we are always right, there is always a first time. The PCPS is written, produced, and recorded in Minneapolis, Minnesota, home of the fictional WJM Studios and our beloved Mary Richards. Nanu Nanu, keep on truckin', and may the force be with you.